I built a quotes Instagram page that posts twice a day completely on autopilot. Stick around to the end of this explainer because I'm going to walk you through the exact automation workflow that ensures you never have to manually hit post again. Let's dive right in. So I have to ask, are you still posting the hard way? You know what I mean. Setting alarms, scrambling for content at the last minute, manually copying and pasting captions, and hitting publish day in and day out. It's exhausting, right? We really want to contrast that manual, repetitive grind with the promise of what we're building today, which is a complete hands-off automation system. The whole goal here is to reclaim your time while maintaining a perfectly consistent, high-quality output. Because honestly, every minute you spend manually moving images around is a minute you could be spending on actual strategy or creation. Here is the roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Single source of truth. 2. Batch generating with Python. 3. Prerequisites and drive uploads. And 4. The Make Automation Engine. Let's start with Section 1. Single source of truth, the Google Sheets Command Center. Okay, so it all kicks off with a totally simple Google Sheet. Think of this as our command center, holding all of our pre-approved data. We've got columns for the quotes, the authors, the captions, and a really neat color column that actually tells the system which visual design to use. But the absolutely crucial point here is that last column, the status. By setting the status to ready to post, you are explicitly telling the automation system exactly what is approved and waiting in the queue. There is zero guessing, no digging through random folders, just a clear, centralized list of everything perfectly prepared for your audience. Now, before any automation kicks in, we obviously need the actual visuals. I designed 2 branded background templates for this, one yellow and one blue. Having 2 distinct colors is a highly deliberate choice here. It allows the feed to alternate colors automatically as posts go live, giving your Instagram grid this highly professional, consistent checkerboard look, and doing it without requiring any extra daily design effort on your part. Seriously, once these 2 baseline templates are designed and uploaded, you never have to touch them again. Moving on to Section 2, Batch Generating with Python, the Assembly Floor. Instead of sitting there designing these quote cards one by one, which is exactly the hard way we're trying to avoid, right? I use Claude Code to write a super helpful little Python script. First, we just feed our Google Sheet data directly to the script. The script then builds a renderer that automatically stamps every single quote right onto our pre-designed templates. And it's smart too. It auto-sizes the text, ensuring that both short and long quotes look completely clean and perfectly centered. In just one single run of this script, you instantly generate an entire folder full of ready-to-post images, literally saving hours of tedious graphic design work. You know, building automated systems usually involves a little trial and error, and this was for sure no exception. In my very first version of this script, the really long quotes ended up completely overlapping the design elements on the template, totally ruining the aesthetic. But fixing it was incredibly easy. I simply asked Claude Code to add a rule to the script that caps the maximum font size. Boom, problem solved. Immediately. The system now knows exactly when to scale the text down so it never, ever breaks the layout boundaries. Now, even with amazing automation, you still want to maintain a high standard. It takes about 60 seconds to do one very quick manual pass over a newly generated batch of images before staging them. You just scroll through the output folder to make sure the rendered text looks perfect on every single card. It only takes a minute of your time, and it absolutely guarantees that your quality remains incredibly high before anything ever gets pushed to the public. Which brings us to Section 3, Prerequisites and Drive Uploads, the shipping rules. Once those images are generated and checked, I simply drop them into color-coded folders in Google Drive, one for yellow, one for blue. But pause right here, because there is a critical gotcha you absolutely must pay attention to. For the automated posting step to actually work, there are strict platform requirements. Your Instagram account must be set up as a business or creator account, and it absolutely must be linked directly to a Facebook page. If you try to use a standard personal account, it's going to fail because personal accounts literally cannot use the Instagram API to auto-publish. This is the single step that catches everyone out, so make absolutely sure your account type is set correctly in your settings before moving forward. And finally, Section 4, the Make Automation Engine, the Delivery Engine. We use a platform called Make.com to run this entire operation. But before we look at the flow, we really need to understand a vital technical workaround, and that is Cloudinary. So why do we need Cloudinary? Well, because Instagram's API absolutely rejects standard Google Drive links. It requires a direct public URL for the image to pull it into their servers. So Cloudinary acts as our intermediary cloud-based service. It grabs the private file from Google Drive and mints a public URL on the fly, giving Instagram exactly what it demands to successfully publish the image. So here's how it all comes together. Twice a day, the automated trigger sequence kicks off. The Make.com engine wakes up and searches our Google Sheet Command Center for the very next row marked Ready to Post. It grabs the corresponding image from our Google Drive, pushes it through Cloudinary to mint that required public URL, and then the Instagram module automatically posts the photo along with our pre-written caption. But the sequence doesn't stop there. To close the loop, Make.com goes right back into our Google Sheet, writes the live URL link of the new post directly into the record, and flips the status from ready to posted. That final step is absolutely crucial because it guarantees that nothing ever gets shared twice. It is a completely airtight, closed-loop system that totally manages itself. By combining a simple spreadsheet, a little AI-assisted Python, and a smart delivery engine, you can reclaim hours of your week and run an entire social channel entirely on autopilot. So have you ever automated your content posting, or are you still doing it the hard way? Think about your own content factory for a second. What specific bottleneck are you going to automate next? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.